I really think my vocation actually stemmed so naturally from my family because my family practiced the faith all as a child. I mean, we had family prayer times and I saw the witness of my parents living their faith. But I also began to actually feel a call to religious life when I was really young, I think, when I used to read saint stories. And I didn't even really know that religious life existed as such. And yet there was like this desire in me. I mean, I remember I have a paper from when I'm in probably 4th grade. What do you want to be when you grow up? And everybody else draws doctor, teacher, fireman. And I actually drew a sister. One of the biggest influences as my faith grew, I think, was Father Gabriel Richard High School. So another diocesan high school here, where I encountered Christ not just in my teachers, but also in my peers. And that's where my faith started to grow. And I learned, I think, especially by seeing my friends make the choice to say, you are the Christ and you're everything. And I learned to make that choice too. So it's beautiful because, like the seed of my vocation was planted here in my family and it grew and blossomed, I think, really in high school and then on in college. But I hope that by the grace of God, now some of the fruits of my vocation can come back into this area again. I feel like I haven't lost any of the gifts that I was given. I've been able to use them and grow in them and love having certain hobbies and enjoy doing them with other sisters. And one of the things that I've really loved over the past few years since I've been in the convent is singing. And I really do think singing is kind of symbolic for me of kind of like the spiritual life as a whole, because there's something about it that you have to come together and work together, and we're all working together for the glory of God. So singing for us, obviously we do it for fun, of course. We will sing fun music as well. But when we sing sacred music in our prayers, when we sing it together, the goal is to be of one heart and one voice. And that's, I think, the goal of the whole Christian life, but especially the goal of our life as the Dominican Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist. When you look at religious life, there's a lot of things that you have to give up, right? And what am I doing? I'm professing vows, and all 3 of those vows are first negatives, right there. I will give up material goods, poverty. I will give up marriage and family, chastity, and I will give up the ability to do what I will with my life, obedience. But they are primarily positive. I was looking at them before I entered. It was so scary to think about all these things that I cannot imagine giving up, right? That I've loved my whole life, right? I love Christ, but yikes. And then I realized, but I knew this when I was discerning, in giving those things up, they're not actually primarily negatives. That's like the surface, but deeper, who is my complete treasure? Christ, and that's poverty. Who is my only spouse? Christ, and that's chastity. And who is the one who I want to give every moment of my will to? Christ, and that's obedience, right? And I think that's tough to understand when you're not living the vocation yet. I think I'm more myself than I've ever been, and that's just what Christ wants for every single person, whatever vocation we're called to be. He made us for a purpose, for a being, right? We're made to be who we're called to be. And whatever vocation we're called to be, we will be perfectly ourselves. St. Catherine of Siena says, be who you are called to be and you will set the world ablaze.